Hi there, it's Kevin with GatheringMagic.com with this week's episode of the Rogues Alley. This week I'm going to take an old school, one of the very first archetypes ever introduced into Modern. I think that since Modern has been around, that Burn has been an archetype in Modern. And we're going to go back to a Tribal Flames build. Most Tribal Flames build have been using Wild Nacatls and Curd Apes in the past and other domain type effects to really maximize this sort of mechanic, but I don't think it's necessary. I think all of the cards are quite weak right now in the current Modern meta, with as many Path to Exiles and Fatal Push. I believe those are number 1 and number 2 of the cards being played at the moment in Modern. So with this one, we're going to go heavy on the burn route. So much that we get black and white in this list. So basically we're going to be playing 5 colors, but only 4 of them. The blue is just going to be in a Steam Vents for the island, and to add additional damage with the Tribal Flames. And we aren't going to use any green spells in the main. In the sideboard, we'd have Atarka's Command and Destructive Revelry. But we get the best of all worlds from both the Mardu list, with the Bump in the Night being another Lava Spike, and the Boros Charm. So basically everything in our deck is going to be able to do at least 3 damage to the face. Going to use the usual suspects from Burn. Then we are also going to run a 1 of Mutagenic Growth, because our creature package is going to utilize all of the Prowess cards. So it's going to run the Monastery Swiftspear and the Soul-Scar Mage for our Prowess sources, and then Goblin Guide being our last card that is, of course, just a staple in any sort of Burn or red deck wins type strategy. We are also going to run Manamorphose because we don't want to get stuck on mana. And plus in this deck, this is going to actually pair very well with the Monastery Swiftspear. I've already had a kind of Hail Mary, I was dead to Storm on next turn, unless I had a Manamorphose in hand and then no other cards. So I needed to hit Manamorphose and Boros Charm. And lo and behold, Manamorphose into Manamorphose into Boros Charm was lethal with my Monastery Swiftspear. So there's some cool little of course, top decks or little tricks you can do with this deck just to maximize the amount of damage that your Swiftspear and Soul-Scar Mage can do. I think the 1 of Mutagenic Growth is nice in here, as well as it can often protect your creatures against like a lightning bolt, or can push through that last bit of damage. Mutagenic Growth is really good when you have 2 of the either Soul-Scar Mage or Monastery Swiftspear out, as it adds 4 points of damage at that point. And it's just a free spell. It's just 1 more card to unload. Allows us to play a very aggressive 19-land deck. And we do curve out at 2 with this deck. So we are going to be running 4 Arid Mesas and 4 Bloodstained Mires, as well as 2 Wooded Foothills. So it's 10 of the fetch lands, as well as an Overgrown Tomb, Sacred Foundry, Steam Vents, Godless Shrine, and Blood Crypt to basically round out the basic land types, and then 3 basic mountains. So we are a little bit vulnerable to like a Blood Moon. We don't have a way to like fetch up just a regular green. I think that our mana base is way too greedy to be playing any other basic lands besides mountains. And again, we are going to be dishing off a lot of damage to ourselves. So against the mirror match, I think that we are going to be a bit of the underdog. However, we are utilizing the Boros Charm and the Tribal Flames, which is going to push a lot of damage in 1 card. The Boros Charm can dish off, of course, 4. You can put a double strike on a Swiftspear with a Mutagenic Growth, for example, to dish off a little more damage. And then the Tribal Flames often gets in for 4 damage, or late game, a lot of times it's 5. So 5 damage in 1 card is huge against a lot of the decks that try to stabilize versus burn, and especially the decks that run the pass and the fatal pushes and need that last bit of way to get through that, 1 or 2 more damage. And Tribal Flames is that particular card. There have been countless matches where I've got my opponent down to 1 or 2 with burn and just can't close out the game. Tribal Flames is just one of those cards that dishes off more potential damage into their card currently. Sideboard, we also have some access to all of the good sideboard colors, which you get from the black. You get Rain of Gore and Rakdos Charm. Rakdos Charm is kind of our rest in peace in here. They can also do damage. I've had it, Rakdos Charm, against like Kiki Cord type decks can be lethal when they try to go off. Rain of Gore is kind of fun versus any deck that's trying to gain life, because if they do gain life, they lose that much life instead. And we are running 2 Lightning Helixes as our only kind of life gain. I had Gonti's Machinations in this version at one point, Skullcrack and Atarka's command will be more hate versus any sort of life gain type strategy. I could definitely go into different cards here. Right now, though, I think life gain is going to be the kind of Achilles heel to this deck. So if we do run a Skullcrack in response to a Obstinate Balef, for example, against the Scape Shift, which is everywhere, that is going to be very clutch. So we want 6 options to do that. Destructive Revelry, of course, is the whole reason you run Naya in Burn, because it does destroy an artifact or enchantment and then do 2 damage to that permanent's controller. There's a lot of artifacts and enchantments that, as Burn, like ley lines, you don't want to ever have a ley line played against you. You do need a way to kill those. Occasionally, there's many other cards that need to be Reveilled before you can really go off. So it's definitely a great card to bring in from your sideboard. So all in all, this is a very familiar. Everyone's familiar with Burn. It's been played a ton. This is just my little twist to it. And we'll see how we'll do. We'll queue it up in some match. This has been. You can follow us along in the comment section as well as in the description, and we'll play 4 matches. All right, match number 1. This is, of course, going to be a really, really solid hand. We do have the first turn Goblin Guide. I think that's always better with Goblin Guide over Swiftspear. Second turn, we can cast Soul-Scar Mage and Swiftspear, and we have the Lightning Bolt and the Boros Charm. So usually when you're a Burn player, you love seeing a 3-lander. If we draw into another land, it just helps us unload our hand a little bit quicker. If we draw into a spell, of course, this gets really, really powerful. Going up a Canopy Vista. Have no clue what runs that in Modern. Tribal Flames is good here. It's going to make me want to go a little more greedy with this, though. Go for something like a Godless Shrine rather than a... I don't know. Maybe we still do just go get... So we have red, and we still want another just red-white. Yeah, that's... Do I care about 3 damage with the Tribal Flames? We'll definitely get some more information as time goes on here. Because I want to unload both the Soul-Scar Mage and the Swiftspear. Like, the best case scenario is I draw into, like, a Blood Crypt. It's a sphere of safety, so Destructive Revelry is going to be great in this deck. They do run ways to stop me from doing what I want to do with, like, Ruined Halos. I think there is some enchantments that do very well. Leyline of Sanctity, of course. I don't care about the Greater Aromancy. It's just going to be slow for my opponent. This should be an easy game 1. And game 2, they'll bring in all the hate, so we have to bring in the Destructive Revelry. So we did get the Bloodstained Mire. So this allows me to go get a Godless Shrine with the Arid Mesa. Does that allow me to? I think the Bloodstained Mire is the more versatile, because then after that we can go get... Or not a Godless Shrine. We can go get a Overgrown Tomb afterwards. Or I could go get a Steam Vents with this Arid Mesa, which is probably what I want to do. And then this Bloodstained Mire can go get a Godless Shrine. And then we'll have 4 types out. I think that's the best play. We don't need to worry about a green. There's nothing we can hit with it. I mean, I guess a Stomping Ground is just as good as a Steam Vents. And yeah, they can both hit both. So I'm just going to go the Stomping Ground, make him think I'm in Naya. And then Godless Shrine will get the Bloodstained Mire. So we'll go ahead and Swiftspear and Soul-Scar Mage. Don't know if this is lethal next turn. I don't know, Blossoms. That's going to give my opponent like a card, a blocker, which we may need a Lightning Bolt. It all depends on what we draw into. We have a Boros Charm and a Lightning Bolt. So that will pump up the Swiftspear. So Double Strike still isn't good on the... Just adds 3 extra damage. We have the Tribal Flames too. Probably going to just go Eidolon here for a blocker. Ghostly Prison. That actually does... Yeah, that messes me up a lot. Do I pay 2, just attack with the Swiftspear? That gives me... Yeah, I think because we can cast Boros Charm and... Yeah, that's fine. So the Bloodstained Mire allows me to go get the Godless Shrine. And then we'll attack with the Swiftspear. and then Bolt. And it puts our opponent down to 10. So we're in pretty decent shape. My opponent shocks himself here, they just die. I think that my opponent needs to put out an Eidolon. So the shock may happen. If my opponent does shock, though, we just win. Yeah, Tutor doesn't really do anything. We'll see what my opponent tutors up. You have Hexproof. So I can pay for the Swiftspear to attack. So he's going to cast the You Have Hexproof next turn. And I can pay for 2 creatures to attack. I think that's actually better. So we go Tribal Flames and Boros Charm here. Or go Boros Charm and Lava Spike this turn. I could go Boros Charm and attacking with the Swiftspear. That gets us down to 4. No, we need the Tribal Flames to kill that. You have Hexproof. No, we don't. So I wonder if I just pay for the Boros Charm or pay for a Swiftspear attack in. That gets my opponent down to 4. And then that still doesn't work how I want it to. This will get it down to 3. I can attack with 2 creatures. With the Aegis. So I go Boros Charm. Swing in with the Swiftspear. That's 6. Lava Spike, have 1 attack, or Tribal Flames, then Lava Spike, but then I won't be able to attack. I think it is just to run out Tribal Flames. Five, 4. Yeah, so close. So but that Ghostly Prison is being a pain. However, my opponent will need to spend the mana for the Aegis. And I can attack with both my Soul-Scar Mage and my Goblin Guide. If I get any sort of damage to the face type spell too, I'll be in good shape. If I get a land, I'll be in good shape too, because then I can pay for 2 creatures to attack. Okay, so this is game here. My opponent has to block. And then we spike him. All right, so onto the sideboard. This is where I'm not sure how much life gain, so if like Rain of Gore, I don't know if it would come in. I'm trying to think of what they possibly could bring in. Haven't played against this matchup. I don't know if Helix needs to come in just to kill some of my opponent's creatures. So I'm going to bring in the Destructive Revelry. Possibly we just don't even need the creatures. So something like Soul-Scar Mage is just slower. Or Goblin Guide is just slower. I mean, do they bring out the creature that whenever they play an enchantment they gain a life? Like, I might have to worry about that card. So I'm going to take out a Mutagenic Growth and possibly put in the Rain of Gore. Again, I'm not familiar with the... Isn't it called Herald of Theros or Herald of Herald of... it's a green creature out of Origins. Whenever you cast an enchantment, gain a life, or whenever enchantment enters the battlefield, gain a life. Again, we don't have many like terrible options here. I think I'm just going to go down to the 8 creatures and still run the rest of the burn package to the face, because my opponent needs to bring in like ley lines, and the 2/1 hexproof card isn't that great. I mean, the Greater Armacy, they get the lock going is how it works. So they give both they give their stuff Shroud. I think this is keepable. It's not. We need a fetch land really bad to get a Destructive Revelry. So there's again a Ley Line of Sanctity that does stop kind of our play for a while. But we do have a Manamorphose for a Destructive Revelry. So if he gets like the Great Armancy out, that's gonna be tough. But we can kill the ley line next turn. All right, so no play by my opponent. Decides to all right, so let's burn one of these Manamorphose. And we want a green and a red. And we get the Destructive Revelry, which now means we can start going to the face. We do want to hit lands, so I might just burn all of my Manamorphoses next turn. Best case scenario we draw is a Swiftspear, and then we can go Manamorphose, Bolt. I don't know. I don't know what my opponent's going to put out this turn. Maybe it is a Ghostly Prison. But I might just burn all my Manamorphoses just to try to find... So Tutor. See what nonsense comes out here. Could grab another Ley Line of Sanctity. Yeah, it does grab another Ley Line for next turn, so we do want to burn as much spells as possible. Tribe of Flames, of course, was not the right list, so we're just going to try to do Manamorphose and do just a red and a black here. There we go. Go get a green. This is kind of awkward if we want to go Destructive Revelry or Boros Charm. I think Destructive Revelry is a better play here. So we'll just go... Because you did want another red source. I mean, we could go get... Yeah, it's going to be this one. So we're going to spike. Bump. And bolt. Putting my opponent down to a 9. However, a lane line is coming down here, so we do need one of our creatures to join the mix this turn. Arid Mesa allows for Tribal Flames. I'm going to go ahead and Manamorphose here. Try to find us something. We still want to find like another. So we're going to go green. I think just red because we need to go green-red here. Lava Spike. Whoops, I should have got a wrong one. I was thinking to get this would have all colors, but we're still one off. So maybe taking out the creatures is a bad idea. I mean, it depends on whether the hand has a Ghostly Prison or a lane line. If we get a Destructive Revelry, we just win. A Greater Aromancy would be tough because it'd make it so. Yep, there we go. So we need our creatures. And is this a Ghostly Prison? It is a Ghostly Prison. That is really rough. Because now we're going to have a tough time attacking through. There's our guide finally. And Goblin Guide betrays me. Gives my opponent a Canopy Vista. Mesa Enchantress. With an Oblivion Ring. So unfortunately, I think we have to kill the Enchantress. With the Tribal Flames. Oh, I could Rift Bolt it. I think that's actually better. It did draw a card, though. So my opponent has plenty of lands. Another Greater Aromancy gets the lock going. A Sphere of Safety is just lethal here. That Sigil's tough. Rift Bolt can't do anything with, so we're kind of stuck. Until we get a creature. I think that even if our opponent just casts an enchantment, we just die here from the Sigil. Yeah, we needed that first turn play, so I think it's a bad idea to side out the creatures, even the Soul-Scar Mage. Just because we need that early damage to get through. And a Ghostly Prison. Now I really can't do anything. I need to draw into like Ghostly Prison or Destructive Revelry to win. And that does it. I lose with the double Greater Aromancy. All right, we get locked out there. Man, really close there, though. We're going to go Soul-Scar. I don't know if Rain of Gore even has anything to hit. So we'll bring in back the Soul-Scar Mage. Helix is actually... Do they have enough... we have enough ways to kill things without the... So Soul-Scar Mage, possibly just like... No, Rift Bolts are good because they can... target a opponent. I think I'm going to take out 3 bumps. And call this good. Unfortunately, this is a mulligan. My opponent snap cap. No, okay, my opponent still is waiting. This is good because we have 2 creatures early. Love the mulligan my opponent, makes it fair. And we actually will put a Soul-Scar Mage on top. Because my opponent doesn't have the Ghostly Prison draw, we're really good. Does have the Leyline of Sanctity. So that is tough. We'll get, I think what we need to get here is a red-white. And my Goblin Guide is betraying me again, giving my opponent lands. The shock is nice, though. We get an Arbor Elf. Bloodstained Mire was perfect. Oh, I guess we fetched away the Soul-Scar Mage. Eidolon of Blossoms coming down. Put us down to a 14. So we don't need green or black, so we're going to get Esteem Vents here. Suspend a Rift Bolt. It can still kill an Eidolon. Or an Arbor Elf or something here. And there's the Greater Aromancy, so it forces me to kill that first. Man, had those every game. Annoying cards. So if a Ghostly Prison is in my opponent's hand, that's going to be really tough. And a Tribal Flames we don't want. And a Blood Crypt we don't want. Goblin Guide, 3 for 4. Finding my opponent lands. And finds the Ghostly Prison. Jeez, finding one-ofs every game. Right, I can pay for both of them, getting my opponent down a bit. Found another land. Oh, I guess this goes away. That was pretty bad. It goes away when I attack. Because I just can't pay this like some of the other. So my opponent's down to a 7. I guess it's 1 point of damage and not a Goblin Guide to find my opponent possibly another land. I think my opponent might be stuck on lands, which I found these 2 for my opponent. Another Tech Edge. Can't cast an Eidolon here. But we definitely need 2 Destructive Revelries in a row. Decides to Tech Edge away. And there's an Arbor Elf. So it does give us an option. Probably should have kept this back. Because it might bait off another Tech Edge next to get rid of my green source. Another Tech Edge. Jeez, has the Tech Edges. So I guess this is where Searing Blazes would have been really good. Yeah, it's going to try to lock me off the green source. That's smart. So I should have just kept that back. Use a bolt this turn. We do get attacking with the guide. If we draw a land, we can attack him with both. Perfect. Another Eidolon of Blossoms. Opponent is down to a 2. Another Ghostly Prison won't work. We have a lot of outs here. Oblivion Ring won't work either. Feeling that's what's coming down. Mesa Enchantress also will not work. So we win this. Barely. I mean, that was rough. No Destructive Revelries needed. Wonder if blue gives us access to some hate cards like Echoing Truth or something. It definitely gets interesting with, or even, I don't think Vapor Snag's the right route to go. We are just running a one of. Snapcaster Mage I thought about in this list too, but it's just, yeah. Oh, well, we'll go on to the next match. Match number 2. This is a very solid hand. We don't have a creature. We absolutely do want a first turn creature. But we do have a first turn either bump in the night, which I probably will go get. I'll go get a Godless Shrine and bump him. And, ooh, this could be Storm. Or, yeah, this is Storm. So we have a really good hand versus Storm. We have 5, 10. Ooh, we have 19, but he did a damage to himself. So we do need these Tribal Flames to do as much damage as possible. I mean, right now it's 4, 8. So 3, 6, 9. So we have 17 damage. So if my opponent shocks himself, that's how we win this. So we're going to go first turn and get a Godless Shrine. And opponent's down to a 16. So next turn, we're going to probably suspend a Rift Bolt and cast a Bump in the Night. And we'll go get a red-green or red-blue. Either one works. Each one of these activations with the Reef is very, 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 very important too. Because we are close. We have 3, 6, 9. We have 17 damage actually in our hand. We just need to unload it. So I'm wondering if actually just casting a Tribal Flames this next turn is the right play, because it allows us to cast multiple spells, and another Tribal Flames and a spell on the next turn. But yeah, no, we have a spell. So we'll go Rift. We're going to go Rift Bolt Bump of the Night 99.9% of the time here. Yeah, regardless of what we draw. Even if I draw a creature, I think I'll just go to the face, because we could draw like a Swiftspear. Well, we go Swiftspear Bump. That might be better. And my opponent does dish off some damage. So typically it takes my opponent turn 4 for Storm to go off. There's another Lava Spike, so that's going to make things easy for me. And I screwed up. I should have gone Rift Bolt there, but that's fine. We need a land next turn. Because it's 4 plus 3. Ooh, we're so close. Yeah, I big time messed up there with the Lava Spike. Yeah, because next turn I can't cast the... You need to cast Tribal Flames. All right, so my opponent doesn't play anything this turn. Manamorphose does help us, because it gets 2 red. This could get remanded. Nope, no remand. Oh, perfect. Steam Vents is the last one, yes. So there's 5 damage. My opponent can't even activate the reef. So we don't have a very good, like, Eidolons are super good versus this deck, and we're not running any. Also, gonna go for a pair, huh? Can't find a basic mountain though, and I think it's impossible for my opponent. Needs to find a source. The lands out of the, what do they call it? The 2 or fewer lands? Fast lands. Fast land out of Kaladesh, the red-blue one, is not going to work here because it will come into play tapped. It has to be a basic mountain for my opponent to go off here. Can't be a fetch land, can't be a shock land, can't be a... I mean, so there's 4 8s. It can be the check land if they play the check. Can't be another Shivan Reef. There's a lot of cards that cannot be played. All right, awesome. So I don't think we change much. We could go for Rakdos Charm here. I think Rakdos Charm is worthwhile, even though it can't do damage to the face, but we can get rid of their graveyard when they go the Gifts Ungiven. You throw the... I think if you throw the Manamorphose and one of the Anthems away, and then exile their graveyard, and then it's tough for them to come back again. I'm not sure exactly the right route to go with the Rakdos Charm. I need some more practice with Storm. It's been forever since I've played against it. I know it's a very popular deck. So these 2 cards coming out, the card that it's usually Bump in the Night that's the weak link at this point, I would say. Possibly just Riftbolt. Riftbolt does allow to kill the Electromancers. So regular burn is so much better versus Storm because they run the Searing Blazes and they also run Eidolons. And Eidolon is just a mess for Storm to have to play against. But I think all of these are fine, and we want to keep our creatures. This is where the person that goes first has a huge advantage in this matchup. I could cut some Tribal Flames, but they're really, really solid. No creature again, but I think it's worthwhile. So we're going to cross our fingers and hit a Swiftspear off the top. That's exactly what we want to see. And if we can get a Swiftspear, we'll get in for 1 damage, and then we can start the... kind of taxing here. So at this point, we're going to need a red-white. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Arid Mesa to go get a red-white. And just start off with a spike. Opponent puts out a Goblin Guide, I think or a Goblin or a Barrel, you have to bolt it. I don't think I go for the face. Opponent decided not to run anything. So is going to use the Serum Vision damage, though. That could have been in last turn. So my opponent is kind of putting themselves a turn behind. Storm really doesn't care anymore. They just need the mana. Once they have 4 mana and some Anthem effects in their hands, they can go off quite easily. So did get the basic mountain to stop from me taxing. So there's a Goblin Guide. We wanted that last turn, of course. This one needs to go get a red-green is fine. So you have 3 land types. And we could go Manamorphose here. And just to see if we can hit something else. All right, that gives us more information. Opponent is down to a 13 and then down to an 11 with the Goblin Guide. Too bad that didn't sequence the other way because we'd be up by 2 damage here. We do have Boros Charm next turn. I do have to worry about getting myself low enough too, because then they can just go Grape Shot. What was revealed? Was it an island? A steam vents, okay. There's Borrow. We will kill the Borrow with a bolt. Has to take a damage here if my opponent does. I don't know why my... Oh, a Dispel. That actually does hurt. Allows for a loot, too. We do have lethal. I think I might lose this, though. Yeah, that Dispel was brutal. Would have the damage next turn, though. So let's see if my opponent can go off. It's very, very easy with 3 mana and Borrow or a Goblin Electromancer. Yep, and here my opponent goes. So again, you can see play versus draw here. On the play, I think we win this because we're a turn early. So Gifts Ungiven. So we want the Manamorphose in the graveyard. So Manamorphose is the strongest card. And a Desperate Ritual. But I'm not sure it matters. Oh, there's a land. Yeah, that definitely. There's a pirate. There's the Pyretic we know about. And there's the Passing Flames, which allows my opponent to go off. Could be some lack of draws, though. So the Manamorphose does go to the exile, see if my opponent can. Because, oh, the Gifts just gives the... Yeah, I think the Storm count's up to 9, so the Gifts just wins here. So turn 4. And, yeah, it doesn't matter what I give. They have enough. 11... And then the Passing Flames gets cast back. So possibly Passing Flames needs to go in the graveyard rather than in the... Without it giving my opponent a 2 rituals. Yeah, I guess that's the right line of play. And I get Grape Shot for lethal. Okay, let's... Side it up. I don't think I bring in like Lightning Helix. Lightning Helixes can kill the Barrels. I don't think they're necessary. Over just bumps, and we want to unload our hand as quickly as possible. So I'm going to keep it as is. I mean, I could go Helixes over Rift Bolts, but then that allows the Suspend. And I could get stuck on mana, not having the correct mana. So we're just going to try to race it down. Ooh, this is a very, 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 very tough hand as a one-lander. I'm gonna keep it. It's very risky. Lead off with a Soul-Scar Mage. Because this allows for a Swiftspear. So we need some huge luck to find that second land. If we do find the second land, we're in very, very good shape. If we don't find the second land, I think this is a loss. But this is a very strong hand. We hit the second land, we will be attacking in for 4, 5, 6, 7, down, opponent down to 13. We have lethal the next turn with 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. No, we don't have lethal quite yet. So 3. So yeah, we'll be go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 down to 13, and then no, these only add 1. But we draw cards off the Manamorphose. They don't just womp womp. That's actually better than nothing though, or better than like another burn spell. There's the Electromancer. So now I desperately need a Spike. Is not going to do it. Unfortunately, we kept a greedy hand, and we're going to get punished for it. So my opponent's going for it here. Gifts ungiven. And again, we have to get rid of the Desperate Ritual and Manamorphose. But I think that my opponent has the Pass in Flames. Yeah, can go off with the Goblin Electromancer quite easily here. Oh, I don't even think if we had the land there, it would have done anything. We needed a way to kill the Electromancer. Should just go get Grape Shot here. And I think we have to put Grape Shot in the bin because we can't let it cast twice. So Manamorphose has to go in the bin, and so does Grape Shot. But most likely toast here. It's 11. Pass and Flame 14, 15, 16. Yeah, we died a Storm. Turn 3. Okay. Womp womp. Storm gets you if you're not ready for it. Do have answers like Rakdos Charms and stuff, but again, regular burn is so much better versus Storm. Eidolons, can't go off without the Eidolons, which might be one argument for running it over the Tribal Flames version. But we're experimenting here. We'll go on to the next match. All right, match number 3. This is a really good hand. We have the Goblin Guide hand, which is good. I actually don't know what the right start is here. Whether it be the Soul-Scar Mage to dish off some more damage with like a Manamorphose or go Goblin Guide. And what's the more damage? I think just getting the Soul-Scar Mage out is the correct play. We can go Manamorphose Guide Swing for 6. Could be going against just rock. Lingering Souls. Lingering Souls is tough, as it gives my opponent a lot of time. So we have another Soul-Scar Mage, and then we can spike our opponent, and then that way can't double block on. All right, so I think the right play, regardless, we're going to go get a black-red. Not a black-green. Yeah, I don't want a black-green at the moment. Black-green does allow for Manamorphose too, or the green to tap for Manamorphose, but it's just gonna be black-red. Dishing off a lot of damage. Okay, so we're gonna go Manamorphose. Red. And then go Goblin Guide. And probably this Soul-Scar Mage. And then attacking for 4. Just a Satyr Wayfinder. So kind of like some Dredge Rock. The Goblin Guide should get chump blocked. Gonna block. Okay. Gonna spread it out. All right. Fair enough. Lingering Soul is gonna be flashback here. Wayfinder can find a land. Let's hope it doesn't. It does find a forest. So Lingering Souls can be flashback. So some sort of, and there's another Lingering Souls in the graveyard. So it's gonna give my opponent a lot of time to stabilize here. So we're going to go ahead and attack in with everything. Gives a Black Cleave Close and a Sacred Foundry. Oh, these Goblin Guides. Still going to spread them all out. That's smart. What is down to 14? We need to avoid drawing lands at this point. And Burial Rites is going to get something. I don't even want to know what it is. We'll have to bring in the Rakdos Charms. Rakdos Charms is really good against this deck too because of the Lingering Souls. I might just go all out of the guides here. Yeah, and go a heavier. We'll bring in some. So should go Lingering Souls and possibly something else. Just hard cast the Lingering Souls. Oh, my opponent has the Lingering Souls draw, which is annoying. And we are on the opposite end of the spectrum, drawing lands, but it makes our Bump of the Nights good. Footsteps of the Goryo is coming up. Looks like my opponent's going to spread it out again. Opponent is down to a 7. Still has 2 Lingering Souls in the graveyard. And cast them both this turn. See, Rakdos Charm would be pretty suit even right here. Hit for 5. Best draw would be, I don't even know at this point. Mutagenic's not really good. It'll be good next turn. Or if my opponent does double block. Wormcoil Engine. Which my opponent can cast. We absolutely do want to use this, because this allows for a... Could be a Path to Exile, could be getting baited out of the Path to Exile. Okay, this allows us to top deck. Wormcoil Engine's coming out next turn. What does this do? Okay, so that just sacks, and so this is a Wormcoil Reanimator type strategy. We need to top deck a burn spell, which is like the vast majority of our deck at this point. We have 4 of our creatures out here. All right, so yeah, this is a pivotal moment here. One time, give us a burn spell, and it is a burn spell. Oh, I didn't sack my Arid Mesa. I should have. All right, that worked. Whew, barely. Went through, how many Lingering Souls we go through here? 4? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 2 of these from the graveyard. It was 4, right? So how many outs do we have? So land-wise, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we had 13 lands, and we had 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We had 21 out of... So we were a little over 50% chance that we hit a spell. And that would have worked, that would have worked, that would have worked, that wouldn't have. Okay, so Rain of Gore does not work against Wormcoil Engines. My opponent could be bringing in things that gain life, though. Skullcrack and Atarka's Command do work, and I may need them. It's kind of awkward how I build this, because we want the Rakdos Charms. Do I just go creature less because he's going so many Lingering Souls? I mean, it makes this deck really awkward if I go completely creature less. You want a mix of them. But I could easily try it and see. We'd have to still run 2 creatures, would in this case be 2 Monastery Swiftspears. Destructive Revelry actually kills the Wormcoil Engines. Okay, we'll try completely creature-less. See if that's... Just go to the face, go to the face, go to the face, go to the face. On the play, I think this is a little bit better. I'm going to YOLO it. See if we get punished for another 1-land YOLO hand. So this actually, we're going to go get probably a Godless Shrine. Ashen Rider, Lingering Souls. All right, so it's an Ashen Rider Reanimator strategy, which is actually pretty good against what our hand has, because if we get stuck on 1 land. All right, now we're perfect. So this is going to go get us a Godless Shrine. And then the next one will go get us a red-green. And then we have 4 of our sources. We need Tribal Flames. We have 3, 6, 9, 12. We have 16 damage. All right, so we actually have all the damage on board here. So it will be a Rift Bolt and a Satyr Wayfinder coming down here. Nope, just Lingering Soul. So I guess my opponent can turn the tide. There's an Atarka's Command. I don't think we're quite worried about it right now. So we're going to go Bloodstain. Go get us a green. Still do want to hit another land, though. And we're going to suspend and bump. My opponent has to make a weird decision attacking with his spirits or not. Yeah, land would be more than ideal here. That is very rough. Should take my Stomping Grounds. So it does have the Footsteps of the Goryo. Enters or dies. Okay, so I think we might just lose to the Footstep combo, because it does sacrifice it with the Ashen Rider. Yeah, so we are definitely in a predicament here, because that does do any land as well. Womp womp. So now we just need to hit a land to go get a Sacred Foundry. And we miss. We need land, to be honest. Lots of graveyard strategies at the moment. So now my opponent's going to try to turn the tide, which is smart. And I'm going to go flashback of Faithless Looting. Finds an Unburial Rites. Ruh-roh. We do get a Blood Crypt. It's worthwhile, even though we probably die to Unburial Rites next turn. Yeah, possibly should have just waited for that. Kept it in my hand. Because now I don't even think I can pull out of this. It needs to be a red source lava spike. But we just, yeah, and it needs to be just a mountain. And then we need to top deck into another one. No, we just die. Yep. Okay. There's a Rakdos Charm. A little bit late. So I'm not sure how this non-creature list is actually going to pan out. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about the Destructive Revelries. I think we do need some sort of like Swiftspears in here. On the play, these get a lot better even against the Lingering Souls. So guys just get chump block forever. Take out a oh geez, Mutagenic Growth is still in my didn't even notice that. Take out a Skullcrack, I think. Yeah, we'll keep in a Skullcrack. Take out a Soul-Scar. We'll do 7. I want to have 1 in my opening hand just to cause a little bit of grief. Those Lingering Souls are super good versus us. Oh, this is so bad. We're going to keep the 1 lander. The upside is huge here. We need something to go get us a Godless Shrine. So 18 out of 53 each turn. I think I have to kill the bird. Or did I just go to the face? No, we're going to kill the bird. I don't like this play, but it sets our opponent back. It could be struggling for sources. I guess not with the Catacombs. And they're going to try Faithless Loot here. That does require 2 damage. Land off the top would be awesome with just with the Rakdos Charm. Just a Lingering Souls. Okay, that's not that rough. We do find land. Awesome. So this goes and gets a Godless Shrine. And do I exile his graveyard? Does that put him back more than just going to the face? I don't think so. The whole thing is the Ashen Rider isn't in the graveyard yet, so I think we have a turn. So I'm going to go Manamorphose. And get a red and a green. Oops, not a green. My bad. Oh, I had the same green. Well, Lava Spike. That's not that big of a deal. Yes, it is. I meant red, white, and then pick green. Well, I hope that doesn't end up screwing me over. But I mean, my opponent's in a pretty bad shape here. Now we'll most likely get rid of the graveyard with a Rakdos Charm. Oh, just 2 lands. Still nothing in the graveyard, though. Okay. Can go Faithless Looting and drop something. So now I just think I keep it up. Because I can Rakdos Charm or... There's another Faithless Looting. So this is where my opponent's going to try for a Elesh Norn. So Rakdos Charm wins here. Because Primus what? Kills only, or would kill 2 permanents, yeah. What the hell? That should have... I just clicked on Exiles, so Rakdos Charm is bugged. Oh no, okay, jeez. That was ridiculous. It didn't show it until after the fact. I was gonna... That was messed up. Because it resolved, and then... We could still lose this is the problem. Another... That's 3 Faithless it's gone. What is the odds there's another Faithless and another... Yeah, Vengeance in hand. Alright, so we win that one. I was panicking there because we saw the interaction of where I targeted the graveyard and it didn't do anything. Usually when you do that, it immediately gets rid of it before the Footsteps resolves. And then it let the Footsteps like try to resolve and then exiled it. Unless I had something like the exile zone clicked. Maybe that was it. I was panicking about that. Anyway, we'll go on to the next match. Match number 4. Hey, is this the first one we got to go first in this series? I think it is. All right, we want to keep this hand. This is ideal. We finally get to see Tribal Flames. It's been a while. I think since game number 1. We'll just lead off with the Blood Crypt. Throw out a guide. And see if the Goblin Guide's like 5 for 6 now. No, Restoration Angel. All right, so some sort of Kiki Chord, most likely, list. Or a white-blue control. Or white-blue, like, yeah, mid-range type deck can work. Thraben Inspector. Does give my opponent a blocker. I do want a red-white now, though, so we'll go ahead and get a Sacred Foundry. Bump. And suspend. And this will get blocked. Selfless Spirit. Surprised my opponent did not make that trade with the Inspector. Because at this point, even if my opponent plays the Selfless Spirit, yeah, I guess it gives it an attack next turn. So, I have some options here. That was kind of a weird... So how much damage do I have? 3, 6, 10. So I just go to the face with the Rift Bolt. Aether Vial. Yeah, very surprised that Inspector went in. So Guy did its job and did 4 damage. We actually have more damage even on board without the other Rift Bolt. You know, Godless Shrine's actually the correct play here. I don't understand the attack, but... And that's 10 damage. All right. Didn't even have to use the Tribal Flames. It's only doing 3 at this point, though. All right, I expect my opponent's going to bring in some sort of lifelink type card. Rain of Gore just really messes these up. I don't really want to change too much. Like, I think the Goblin Guide strategy is pretty bad on the play. So we'll go Soul-Scar Mage. I think like Atarka's commands are good. Or possibly even just Helixes are the better play. They can take care of what Blade Splicers possibly. We need to kill the Golem token. Rakdos Charm is actually interesting versus this deck because my opponent could flood out depending on what they're playing, like a Spectral Procession. This looks to me like it was Death and Taxes, though. So Destructive Revelry is actually decent versus the Aether Vials, but I don't think and a Golem token, but that's about it. The Moran Crusader I doubt would come in, so I don't think we need to worry too much about it. I think we'd rather just stop the life gain. And so bring in like Skullcrack, Atarka's command, the Rain of Gore, and then take out, I think still Rift Bolts are usually the weak link in this one. They can actually go to the face, but they're one of the tougher cards to top deck and just deal off the damage you need. I am going to take out the Mutagenic Growth, possibly 1 Soul-Scar Mage. I think I like the 7, and then just take the Rift Bolt out. Actually, we're going to take all the Rift Bolts out for 2 Helixes. I'll keep 1 in. Maybe go down to even 1 more Soul-Scar Mage. Manamorphose gets a lot weaker here, but... yeah, I don't want my guides to just get Thraben Inspectored all day long. Very good. Very, very good hand. Opponent snap keeps. Brenton Forge Tender. Okay. That is probably one of the more annoying cards, for sure. So I didn't care about Soul-Scar Mage. Just start going to the face with it. So green-red is a color we definitely need. That can go get us a green-black, though. So black, green, white-red. So we need a white-red. Leonin Arbiter. This changes things. I think I go get a green-red now. Makes Tribal Flames weaker, but we have the Swiftspear, so we can go Lava Spike. We could just flat out Tribal Flames the Arbiter. Because we are very vulnerable to like ghostly prisons. Oh, jeez! I just completely messed up there. Whoops! Forgot I'm thinking the Arbiter right there, and then I can't crack it. My bad. That was not even paying attention. I needed to do the Rift Bolt there. So Sunlance on the Soul-Scar Mage. And Athalia. I don't think there's a way I win this one. The Arbiter is just too taxing, even if I can't. Yeah, I can't even cast it. All right, we're gonna go on to the next one. There's no way I get out of this. All right, let's focus here. Can't be doing that to the Arbiter. I don't think that there's a way that I could have, after that one though, even cast what I needed. Yeah, Goblin Guys is a lot worse. The Soul-Scar Mages are fine though. Versus Thalia. Rift Bolts are also good. Possibly I just go Swiftspear, and if I draw a Swiftspear, I draw a Swiftspear, and that's it. Is my opponent playing anything to gain life? This is another match that's kind of tough without these Searing Blazes and Searing Bloods. We do want to keep this. We have the one of Monastery Swiftspear. And I'm going to crack this right now, so no Arbiter nonsense. To go to Stomping Grounds. Hopefully it's not a Forge Tender that comes down here. No, it is not. Okay, so we're in pretty good shape. Sunlance could be a thing. So we're going to choose 2. 3 damage each. Yep, this one. Hopefully no path. It is a path, but the Atarka's command still gets damage through. All right. So far, so good. Just gonna Manamorphose here. Just get red, green. Swiftspear. Use the Skullcrack right now, because this means that the Forge Tinner can't block it, I believe, because doesn't protection, yeah, it gets around the... Alright, so, yeah. Yep, so my opponent did not realize how that works. I've fallen into that as well, where protection of red, Skullcrack gets around it. Maybe it just wanted to prevent some damage. And this can go get us red. We need black still, so just Blood Crypt still better than a Godless Shrine. We're going to kill the Thalia, because it dishes off another damage. And I am going to go for a Tribal Flames. I think this is about as good as it's going to get. For 4. And if there's like another Sunlance slash Path to Exile, that just sucks. But all right, cool. Opponent's down to a 6. So any 2 spells can win the game here. Tech Edge. My opponent can destroy a land, sure. Destroyed the wrong one. And this is lethal, yeah. Boom. So perfect damage. Woo! So game 2 was embarrassing. Apologize about that. But anyway, there's 4 games. Not too shabby. Not too bad at all. Had some nail biters there. Storm is tough. If you're worried about Storm, play regular burn. If you like the Tribal Flames, though, if that additional 1 to 2 damage that the Tribal Flames gets over normal burn spells is worthwhile. We didn't see like matchups where they are trying to gain some life, like the Jund, for example. Jund with like a Kitchen Finks, and you need that to kind of negate that 2 damage the Kitchen Finks did or gained. I know there's Skullcrack and Atarka's command at that point, but Tribal Flames has worked out very, very well. I was playing again a Storm matchup before taping, where the 2 damage from the Tribal Flames was the difference. Got my opponent down to, or did 18 damage. They're down to, or would have done 18 damage, but the Tribal Flames being that last 2 points for 5 at the end. Anyway, if you want to see some more matchups, we might play this on my live stream or my channel over at YouTube/Rogue Deck Builder or Twitch/Rogue Deck Builder. And we're going to start to get in September back into the swing of things, building more Rogue Brews beyond just for the Gathering Magic. But we'll keep that up for Gathering Magic as well. So if you like my the content here, come check out my channels at Twitch and YouTube. Thanks for watching.